नमस्कार द वॉयसाच्या आयच्या ह्या खाशेल्या मुलाखतीत तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार. इश्टानो आमी गोंयांत आयज वेगवेगळे कडेन वेगवेगळे तरेचो एक तरेन अनरेस्ट पळयतात. वेगवेगळे काणकोण ते पेडणे मेरेन खंयच्या ना खंयच्या प्रकल्पाक म्हणया किंवा सरकाराच्या खंयच्या ना खंयच्या निर्णयाक एका तरेन विरोध जातना दिसता. एक खंय तरी तिडक आसा, राग आसा, खंय तरी एक खतखत आसा आनी होच खतखत, हीच तिडक खूब तेंपान एकठांय आयिल्ली आमी पळयली आनी नव्या वर्साच्या सुरवातीकूच गोंयकार एकठावलो. फेर्दिनबा ब्रिबेलो हांणी दिल्ल्या उल्याक तांणी ओ दिलो आनी कितलेशेच गोंयकार, कितलेशेच लोक गोंयांतले इन्स्टिट्यूट मिनेजीस ब्रागांझा हांगा एकठांय जाले आनी तांणी आपले विचार व्यक्त केले, आपली तिडक, आपलो हुस्को व्यक्त केलो. ताज्या उपरांत एक खूब सकारात्मक गजाल घडली, ती म्हळ्यार गोंयचे तरणाटे जागे जाल्ले आमकां दिसले आनी ह्या तरणाट्यांक जागे करपी 2 यंग एक्टिविस्ट, यंग तरणाटे आयज आमच्या बरोबर हांगा आसात, जांच्या कडेन आज आमी ह्या विशयाचेर चर्चा करतात. आमच्या बरोबर आसात शोहेल बाब फुर्तादो आनी ताहीर बाब नोरोना. तुमकां दोगांकूय येवकार द वॉयसाच्या ह्या खाशेल्या मुलाखतींत. आनी सुरवातीकूच हांव तुमकां दोगांकूय विचारपाक सोदतां, शोहेल, इफ वी कॅन स्टार्ट वीथ यू, की कितें हो कॉल आशिल्लो? वाय डीड यू थिंक दॅट यू शूड गिव दीस कॉल टू द यूथ ऑफ गोवा एंड आस्क देम टू कम एंड युनायट एंड टॉक अबाउट गोवा?
हय, आमगे हो मिटींग घेवपा एक कारण आहलो. आमगे सगळें सोशल मुवमेंट जो आहाय विच एवर हॅव बीन देर इन द पास्ट, सगळे लोक म्हणटाले यूथ हूंय आहा, आमगे तरणाटे भायर सरना ते. सो आय ऑलवेज न्यू दॅट आर यूथ, दे आर नॉट हॅपी विथ वॉट इज हॅपनिंग and they're just not getting a platform. Thank platform मेळना. Wherever it is, it's usually dominated by the others, other age groups, and they don't get an opportunity to come forward to speak. So it's not that the youth are happy or don't know what is happening or don't care. As we've seen in our meeting, it is very much that the youth are aware and the youth care. So we said, you know what, let's give the youth an opportunity where only the youth can come forward, youth can speak and tell us, Baba, tumge kite problem ahay, what problems you want us to take up, and how you want us to take it up, all those things. And what we understood from this is, tenge sagle problems, whatever they have, is the same what we are fighting for. And they've also made it very clear, Baba, we know, kit jata Goyan, kit jate am khobar aha. But we've not got the opportunity. That's why we've been supporting you. I mean, I've always said it. If the youth didn't bother about what is happening, as because it's the youth who are sharing my videos. So with this, we've proved, and it was such positive feedback that we got that the youth have been asking for another one as well. Even when the meeting got over, they stayed back till so late just to talk to us, who could not get the opportunity due to time constraints. They stayed back to tell us, Baba, as I, or problem face kota, all those things they told us. And they asked us even to have follow-up meetings, have another meeting in the south, in certain areas and all. So yes, this was very positive, and it's just proved what I always felt was the situation.
ताहीर, वॉज इट वर्थ इट? म्हणजे हो जो कॉल दिल्लो, त्या कॉलाक तुमी जशी अपेक्षा दवरिल्ली तसो रिस्पॉन्स तुमकां मेळ्ळो काय कितें? आनी एक जनरल परसेप्शन जे आमी सदांच आयकतात, पळयतात, की टुडेज यूथ इज नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट गोवा ऑर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट सोशल मुवमेंट. डीड दिस मीटिंग प्रूव इट रॉंग?
I think it was 100% worth it, because there were also issues that the youth brought up that we had never even thought of, which are clearly very important issues to young people in Goa. I think your second question was talking about what did we send a message? I don't think the intention was to send a message as much as to get a message. Correct? Because we know that there is a fact that in every meeting that we go to, in every protest that we go to, we are some of the youngest people, which is why we have gravitated towards each other in the protest. Ani ek tarnato hello, let's stand at least together and support one another in the meetings. So like we were thinking, really there is a problem, and the oldies let us know it time and time again that where are the others. So we wanted to know what were things that might make people charged up to come on the street, or otherwise what are other ways that youth would like to express their issues, so that those of us who are already in these circles can give those issues a push without putting anyone at additional risk or exposure.
खूप जाणांक दिसता की मे बी द यूथ टुडे आर बिझी विथ their professions or busy with making money. I just want to tell our viewers also की हांगा जे 2 तरणाटे बसल्या ते बेकार ना. They are doing good in their respective work आणि त्यांच्या हातून, but yet they feel त्यांचो कन्सर्न आसा गोंया खातीर. सो आयचे तरणाटे म्हणजे बेकार नाच, तांकां काम आसा, बट इज दॅट अ रिझन ऑर इज देर ऑल्सो अ कन्सर्न की तांकां खंय तरी इव्हेंट्सांनी म्हणया किंवा आनी खंयच्या गजालींनी घुस्पावन दवरला सो दॅट दे डोंट कम आउट एंड सपोर्ट दीज इश्यूज. आर पॉलिटिशियन्स ऑल्सो कीपिंग दॅम एंगेज्ड इन पेटी थिंग्स ऑर मे बी आज आमी पळयतात कितलेशेच टुर्नामेंट जातात, इव्हेंट्स जातात, ह्यो सगळ्यो गजाली जातात.
हय.
सो आर दे बींग फोर्सिबली ऑर cunningly rather I would say ki kept engaged so that they don't get to these issues.
Okay, you put that very well actually. What tournaments and सगळे आहे, that is true. In many cases, there are isolated places where वो सगळे tournament करता है बेचते हैं youth, so that they don't rise up, they stay busy, and I would just call it smoke and screen games. It happens, yes, it is happening. It is happening even in my area. I know it for a fact. हम जाना है. But it's not that they are not aware. They are aware. Some of them do come out still, even given those cases. Some skip those tournaments as well and do come. Yes, it's impacted our numbers in the past for certain events, but I don't think everyone falls for those. Not everyone, but a good amount does. But another amount, they've always, as we found out in the video, I mean, in our meeting over there, is that people were a little scared because they were misinformed about what happens at protests and everything. There were a lot of fears and all, which we told, which we addressed. So there was also a little bit of misinformation and I would say lack of information among them. Some cases there might be as well where the parents may be scared. Baba tu ting osna ka file tuk job medpana. All those things will be there. But yeah, overall you've got a rough gist. But yeah, the youth are definitely coming out. The youth definitely want to come out. And yes, I know we are already targeting the youth and we're saying oldies. It's not that we have no offense to the oldies. I actually have huge respect that till today they've been fighting. Till today they're fighting the same fight that they fought in the past. So I have respect for them, but we need our youth to come out and we need to find a new way to bring them out. That is our whole intention.
बरोबर. And I think automatically तांकांय बी answers मेळटली ज्या दिसा ते पळयतले. Tahir, what were some of the major issues that the youth brought about in this meeting?
So number one, as obvious, is constructions coming up everywhere. Tree cuttings and hill cuttings that also are coming up because of constructions. This we were pretty much expecting. Water supply is very uneven across the talukas. Bardesh, Tiswadi suffer a lot about regular water supply, and many of the youth feel like when new projects are coming up, big buildings are coming up in their villages, water supply is automatically going down. So these two were expected. We heard a lot about garbage and we heard a lot of different opinions about garbage, which was a very spirited discussion as to whether we should have public dustbins or no, whether we should segregate at home or whether the local body should segregate. Youth are very passionate about garbage. I think that's part of because we've all been brought up with certain civic sense that we care about this thing. Law and order was another major long discussions, lot of concerns. We gave lot of solutions and fixes of how we have been managing some law and order issues, law and order, and also just generally women's safety in public spaces, women's safety in buses. A lot of college age students who still take the bus every day to go to college. There's serious problems with the private buses for young women in our state. These were broadly, and then we got a few more of I'm worried about this specific thing that's happening in that specific, but broadly
Transportation also.
Transportation.
Both of you have been flagging this हो जो development आम्ही म्हणतात, whether this development is really required in Goa. But I also want to ask both of you की एक अशेंय बी चित्र तयार जावपाक लागला की गोंयकार सगळ्याच गजालीक ना म्हणपाक लागल्यात काय कितें, बिकॉज वी सी की चिंबेल आज प्रोटेस्ट चल्ला, पेडण्यां चल्ला, काणकोण चल्ला, सगळ्याक चल्ला. सो ही एक नवे तरेची is this negativity that the Goans are portraying. What do you think? How genuine you think this problem is? की खंय तरी गोंयूच पावणेर काडला काय कितें की Goa is being sold right and left, and how serious this issue is with regards to illegal constructions म्हणया किंवा unplanned development जो आमी आज पळयतात गोंयान.
सो फर्स्ट हांव डेवलपमेंटाचें उलयतां बिकॉज देर इज दीस मिसकन्सेप्शन फकत सगळे गोंयकार डेवलपमेंटाचे अगेन्स्ट आहा विच इज रॉंग. इट्स नॉट ट्रू. इवन आय माय सेल्फ एम फॉर डेवलपमेंट. पूण डेवलपमेंट देर आर टू टायप्स. देर सस्टेनेबल एंड देर अनसस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. आनी आज गोंयांत जो डेवलपमेंट चलता दॅट इज अनसस्टेनेबल. एंड the development that happens, it should benefit the Goans, make your lives easier, either create jobs or make your life easier. But what is happening? Whose life is becoming easier with all these projects and everything that are coming up? Are the Goans benefiting? 1, 2 maybe, but that will be 2 out of 100, 2 out of 1,000, right? But the rest, all the suffering comes for the locals, the common people. The locals, common people. Yes. So that is the main thing.
If I can add something to this, to me, zaite mega projects are coming up in Goa today that are much debated. If you look at them carefully, across the Mandovi River from Panjim Market, DLF, that is 80 luxury villas. Bhutani, 1,001 luxury villas. The big Lodha, Conquerors of Goa, that is 800 plots for residential. These are not residential construction, especially residential construction in the luxury sector, does not provide any of the benefits Shohail just talked about. Correct? Because it's just a house. There's no job opportunity. There's only resources being harvested for it. And there's no infrastructure, amenities, anything from constructing of a private house.
It's a burden in a way.
It's a burden, not a boon. So it's so according to me, and a bunch of scholars in the West are also starting. They don't anymore consider plotted developments as, they don't put them under the word development anymore because they are not development.
I would also like to add, because we spoke of residential projects, let's talk even of resort projects. Kitya amge Goan, I'm from Varka, amge Goan, ani ek resort yopa ha. It's a big issue in our village. Amge panchayat is completely for it. Am jana kitya. But villagers are against. Amge Goan we have around 7-8 resorts already. Running. Bare? Now this resort, if it comes, now we already having issues, the locals, whoever are living near those resorts in Varka, they're having complaints, sewage issues, traffic issues, rostaborna thing, tourists creating a ruckus. They're having all these issues. Second, employment, amge locals are dinayti. And you somos dita zalyar pagar keto, how much is the salary? And they're giving very low salaries. As low as 10,000 and 15,000 if you're confirmed. 10,000, 15,000, you cannot survive in Goa. And people say, nah, Goans are too lazy to work. Arey baba, think, okay, we have our houses here, so we're not paying rent. But is this human to ask a local to work for 10,000 and 15,000 a day? I mean, a month? Is it human? It's not. So who's benefiting from all these? All our resources are going there. We are, even Amge Gaon, Varka, we are having issues of water and all. So even the projects that they are trying to, then they try to say, now we'll make jobs and all. But no one, locals are not benefiting. What are we benefiting from these? Correct? So it's not only the residential, even if they say tomorrow, naam resort kotta thinga, it's not benefiting us.
So we see these blatant illegalities being taken place. खूपदा आम्ही जेन्ना सोदपाक वता की त्यांच्याकडे हे परमिशन आसा ते परमिशन आसा, वी एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वी नो दॅट दे डोंट हॅव सर्टन व्हेरी रेक्विजिट परमिशन सुद्धा त्यांच्याकडे नासता. सो एक क्वेश्चन जो एक मे बी अ यंगस्टर कॅन आस्क, और त्या मिटिंगेकूय एक प्रश्न आयलो की वॉट कॅन वी डू. म्हणजे these are big people who have heavy weights. त्यांच्या पॉलिटिशियना कडेनूय संबंध बरे आसता, पुलिसां कडेनूय आसता. सो अशा सिच्युएशनान आमी कितें करपाक शकता? So could you, Tahir, if you could answer this question, because you people have done things, what are the simplest thing that maybe a youngster, if he sees a project coming up in his village and he feels that something is wrong about this, what can that youth do?
So all the youth who came, they were thinking very critically, and that is the first step that we need for a powerful civil society. Good to be a good citizen is to think critically. Maka dista everyone over there would have the ability, if they could see all the permissions, to go through them carefully and spot something that's wrong. And so our next step goals is actually to provide a kind of a support system, because we are in touch with some of the long-standing environmental NGOs in Goa, such as Rainbow Warriors, Goa Foundation, Goa Bachao Abhiyan, etc. We are in touch with them. Our goal is in the long term to, if we can develop a alert youth, a youth that cares about their villages, that if a building is coming up and the board is pasted over there, they'll take note of what are all the permissions given, and they'll collect those permissions and they'll do a first study of those permissions. We can link them with the right people who can give them even more points and who can help them build up a case to at least make an attempt to challenge this project if the people in the village do not like or want this project. Not for the sake of obstructing. All the groups I mentioned before have a reputation of being quite moderate on these things, and not the kind who go to stop for the sake of stopping. But the youth could become eyes and brains to see and to document and to do an initial study, which could help us get the kind of development that we really want in Goa.
True. एक प्रश्न जनरली whenever there is a uprising or whenever people come together, एक movement जातना दिसता, एक खंय तरी revolt जातना दिसता, तेन्ना पयलो प्रश्न खूब जाणांच्या मनांत येता की is this political? की हांगा खंय तरी politics involved आसा काय कितें, कोण तरी politicianनी मुखार काडला काय तें. Is it wrong to be political, and can we do away with politics? Can we say that ना आमकां politics लागना, we are here just for the sake of Goa आणि आमी राजकारणान पडनात? Is this can be a reality? काय, how do you look at this aspect of it?
See, not every movement is political. That's the truth. Not every movement is political, but many movements get hijacked by politicians. There's that.
Yeah.
That reminded me of our last time we met, where Sanjeev Sardesai, he said, politics is good, politicians aren't. Yeah. So that is the reality. So everyone wants to get their limelight, right? Amge sagle mantris and आमदार्स, when they see that वो protesta खूब लोक आहा, they want to come and stand in the middle, because then the people will say तो आमचे बरे आहा and everything. So that happens as long as they don't make it too political and dilute the true meaning of the protest. So that is my
At the end of the day, the Amdars have a lot of privileges that we do not have. They can call for any document within short notice through legislative assembly. They can say statements that perhaps we cannot say because they are protected by certain privileges. They are at the end of the day endorsed by the voters to represent them, at least to take up the issues in various forums like the collector for field filling or hill cutting, for example. So any movement needs the support of the elected representatives and those in power, those out of power. But like Shohail said very well, the movement, they have a tendency, because they are powerful people, to try to hijack it. We have to make sure that it's not hijacked.
Yes. My opinion is that the politicians should be there for the protests and everything, because you all are elected by the people. So you all have to represent us, you all have to be there, but doesn't mean that you all have to hijack it. That's the end of the day.
Right. Shohail, Tahir, the call that was given was through social media. And yeah, social media सगळ्यांकडे आसा, and especially Goan, I mean, there's a very thin line between, say, village and city. But yet, do you feel that there are any chunks or any kind of sections that you still need to, penetrate through? Especially दर्या आमच्या विलेजांनी जे आमचे थंय तरणाटे जे आसात, थंय जे यूथ आसात, तांच्या मेरेन एक वेगळ्या तरेन पावपाची गरज आसा काय कितें? And are you both or rather all of you thinking on those lines?
I was looking at our sign-in sheet, and our reach is really Bardes Tiswadi Salset.
Yes.
Almost all the youth that came for our protest were from these 3 villages. I think we had 2 from Perne, and that's it. So like we need to clearly there is these more developed, more urbanized villages of Goa are more alert.
We had some from Kurchore, but yeah.
Kurchore.
We had Kurchore.
Kurchore. Yeah. So okay, so little cafe also.
Still
But
little
it's like
city,
it's,
not the
yeah.
it's
majority.
urbanized village
Yes.
Nazalar urban
That's right.
is our circle.
So that's true. We need to penetrate to the more rural areas of Goa. That is something that was brought to my notice, and like how Tahir said, I saw the sheet and it confirms that majority is from the more urbanized talukas, I would say. If we look at talukas, we've captured only the more urbanized ones, and we need to penetrate more into the others.
Of course, this was the first attempt, आणि तुवें जशें म्हळें की तुमकां भरपूर रिस्पॉन्सूय आयला की सावथाकूय जावचें.
हय.
प्रॉबेबली जेन्ना सावथाक जातले तेन्ना थोडेशे केपें काणकोण हे जे वाठार आसात खास करून, आनी साश्टीनूय बरेचशे विलेजीस आसात जे विच आर इन इंटेरियर्स, जंय हो फोकस दिवचो पडटलो. बोथ ऑफ यू, लास्ट क्वेश्चन, हाऊ डू यू सी थिंग्स फ्रॉम हियर, आनी नाव दॅट द फर्स्ट स्टेप हॅज बीन टेकन, हांगच्यान मुखार कशें वचचें अशें तुमकां दिसता?
One is, since we said in the start, पयलीं सावन आमगे सगळे all the youth who were there, they told us, बाबा आमकां आनी एक session जाय. And then आमगे सगळे शाश्टी mostly. Unfortunately, that's how we realized आमगे शाश्टी आहा. Is that they want one in the south, so we are going to have in the south. Second, all these points that they've put forward, the youth have put forward, these are points of good genuine concern that need to be taken up, and we need to find a solution which we can brainstorm. More brains working on a problem together always gets a better solution. That is what I believe. So we'll have interactive sessions again, plus we'll have sessions where we can try and find solutions to those which we can pitch to the MLAs and ministers, and we can try and demand, not try, we will demand, because now we can see the youth are waking up and the youth have numbers. We have a lot of numbers. So we can definitely demand and make sure that those demands are met. That is what we have with us now.
Right. Tahir, also I would want to ask you another thing is, फेरदीन बाबाची मिटींग जाली, तातून एक चार्टर ड्राफ्ट केला. सो डू यू ऑल्सो फील की युथांचो एक वेगळो चार्टर आसपाक जाय, और डू यू फील दॅट एटलीस्ट वी शुड अलाइन विथ दिस चार्टर सो दॅट दिस मूवमेंट बिकम्स इवन मोर स्ट्रॉंगर?
So I had a chat with Dr. Ribello on Sunday after the event. He had called me and said he saw the press reporting and thought it was a fantastic turnout. And he said, can we organize one interaction with me and my drafting team and youth? I told him that we'll have to figure out, again, we should probably do it in a closed space, but a large space. And we should have it more that we start with the charter, but we make it a little more interactive so that youth can suggest amendments, changes, that then your team can go and sit back. So we're thinking of the end of this month, most likely 31st of Jan, we will be doing this interactive session for youth to give feedback, suggest additions or suggest deletions from the 10-point charter, because there may be things there that do not resonate with youth, and I feel most do, but it should be good to hear from more people. Hopefully that also gets widely spread around and becomes a good, productive activity.
रायट. थँक्यू सो मच बोथ ऑफ यू. आनी म्हाका दिसता एक खूब सकारात्मक सुरवात ह्या पुराय वर्साची जाल्ली आसा, जंय आमकां गोंयकार जागो जातना दिसता. तो न्हिदिल्लो अशें हांव म्हणचें ना, पूण एक खंय तरी ही तिडक आतां ओपनली व्यक्त जावपाक लागल्या. जशें तांणी म्हळें की तरणाट्यांकूय भंय आसता, कारण ती एज अशी आसता की खंय तरी तुका तुज्या मुखार तुजो फुडार दिसता, तुजें प्रोफेशन दिसता, तुजी फॅमिली दिसता, आनी अशा वेळार सोशल इश्यूनी कितल्या मेरेन आपणें मुखार सरचें, कितलें इनवॉल्व जावचें, अशे जायते प्रश्न आसता. पूण म्हाका दिसता जे तरणाटे त्या दिसा पणजे इन्स्टिट्यूट पेयदलान आयिल्ले, तांच्या बरेचशे जाणांच्या प्रश्नांक जापो मेळ्ळा, आनी ते आतां अदीक आनी अदीक तरणाट्यां मेरेन पावतले. आनी हो जो एकंदर मुवमेंट जस्टीस फर्दिन बाब रिबेलोन सुरू केला, किंवा शोहेल आनी ताहीर सारके तरणाटे मुखार व्हरता, ताका आनीक एक खंय तरी स्ट्रॉंग खंय तरी एक बॅकींग मेळटलें अशी इच्छा ह्या वेळार आमी व्यक्त करतात. तुमी पळयत रावात द वॉयस फॉर गोय.
The voice for Goem.